I wanted to address this. One, I don't understand why do people always focus on people who, for the most part, many of the people they talk about aren't even divested. Like, people will talk about Cynthia G and associate her with divestment, which is weird. And they'll just say it because she hates black men. And it's like, hating black men never had anything to do with divestment. It really doesn't. It just has to do with hating black men. Most of the time, when a mammy gets all used up, she gets angry because she finally realizes how bad it was, and then she starts getting angry and bitter. And then you have those venge swirlers, yeah, but those aren't really divestors either. Now, oh, I also wanted to point out one other thing. Yeah, some channels do talk about like some things that people would be offended with or whatever, and they are divestors. For example, he pointed out that someone has a black man hanging from a tree um, in their profile pic. That's a side issue though. Does she talk about black men hanging from trees? Most of the time, no, she doesn't. Actually, she's more of the time talking about black women in that state because they chose a black man, and she usually is just upset that black women seem to die at alarming rates due to black men, you know. And she's bringing statistics that are actually proving this to be true. So, I mean, you can't really blame her because her source is the news. And if you really have an issue with anyone, why not talk to the men who are actually supplying her with the content? That would be a thought to try. Anyway, outside of that, you were saying that I date light-skinned black men. No, I've never dated a light-skinned black man. Take it a step further, I've never even dated a biracial black man. Uh, yeah, I think you're thinking of me texting someone at one point that was light-skinned. I never even met the person in real life, so, I mean, that was years and years ago. And even then, that wasn't a black person. Anyway, but my point is, I've never dated anyone who was mixed, light skinned, or anything of that nature. I've texted people who were maybe mixed with black, maybe if they were Hispanic. So I don't know, like a Puerto Rican, maybe. I don't know. I didn't look at their genetic test, but I've never dated a light-skinned black man. I don't know where you're getting that from. Now, back to what I was wanting to say on divestors are just white supremacists. This is so weird. The whole association with white supremacy is so odd to me because it's like, do you know what white supremacy is? Because it seems like you don't even have a clue what white supremacy is. Or maybe you've never met a white racist. It's like, I don't know where you've been. Maybe you're lucky, I guess. You've never met them in person. That's cool. But you can easily find them online just to be able to tell what a white supremacist is. So then you aren't constantly saying nonsense like this. Because a lot of the time I notice people will try and associate divestors with white supremacy or things of that nature. You do understand that racial mixing is like one of the worst things you could do for white supremacy, right? I mean, white purity is one of the main things that are very important to white supremacy. So, I mean, like, why would you ever associate that with white supremacy? It's very odd, in my opinion. This is why they had laws against miscegenation, because that was a major no-no, for white supremacists. I don't really get you. I really don't. I think most of the time what you're thinking is that the things that they're saying are basically associated with white supremacists, what white supremacists say? Not really. They don't. You know, to me, I think more so, especially woke people, woke black people, you know, they tend to have more of the rhetoric that white supremacists have. You know, they tend to have the negative assumptions and um, associations with black people. The only difference is they may not say it with so much anger, but they basically say the same dang thing, you know. You know, liberals usually say the same thing as, you know, white supremacists. This is why that party was made from white supremacists, you know. So, I don't really get what you mean by divestors being associated with white supremacists. It's actually quite the opposite. Divestors are quite the opposite to white supremacists. I mean, this is exactly what they fear. You know, that white supremacists would like black people to stay with their black people. This is why in our country that's what's encouraged and has always been encouraged because of segregation. You guys appreciate segregation. You appreciate being pushed off to only black people because you were indoctrinated by white supremacists so much that you don't even realize who's actually spouting white supremacist views, period. I'm sorry I cut off there, but yeah, you don't realize who's actually doing it because you are still thinking that somehow white supremacists want to erase themselves with divestors to make a black race. You do understand when you mix with black, when a white person mixes with black, from their perspective, they've crossed over to black. They don't see it as a white person. This is why our country has it where the biracials are seen as black. All because of, yes, our country has been well controlled by white supremacists long ago in our history. That's why we view black people and biracials the same. Because of that. So, I mean, like, you acting like this has to do with white supremacy. It's like showing you don't know anything about your history. You don't understand how black Americans were treated. You know, simple laws like anti-miscegenation laws. You don't understand a lot of things and how actual white supremacists view black people. You don't understand any of it, you know? And it's just weird to me why people say things like this, you know? People will often associate white racism with divested black people, and it makes no sense. It's like, it's the opposite. That's the thing they really don't want you to do. And it's obvious why. I mean, when you mix someone who's white and black, do they ever really look white? No, they look more black than anything. And that bothers a white supremacist because they want to see their own image. Rightfully so. I mean, like, I wouldn't want to really see a society with no white people. That would be a little different from what I'm used to seeing, you know. But I like to see, you know, a multicultural country, you know. But yeah, it's just, I don't understand why people say these things. I mean, like, understand what you're comparing divestors to. Otherwise, it just kind of falls as if you don't understand what divestment is, who is divested, or you don't understand white supremacy. And most likely it does look like it's more so you don't understand white supremacy, and that's why you associate divestors with white supremacy because you don't understand what it fully entails. So that's all I have to say in this video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, everybody, and have a great day. Bye.